Hello all and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well and I've had a fantastic weekend so far. Thank you yet again for the love and support on the previous video. It means a lot and I really do enjoy interacting with you guys. That being said, there is some brilliant news to cover again today in this video as the Hedera ecosystem continues to develop and we have got new announcements from SaucerSwap, which is a DEX obviously that I have been talking about many times on the channel. Showed you guys how to buy in early with the NFT, the Planck Epoch NFT collection to get that additional FAUCET source as well as airdrops, etc. coming in the future. I'll jump all into that within a minute. First off, let's quickly just do a market overview again. No change realistically from my previous videos. We can see that fear and greed index is indicating that we're still within extreme fear within the markets. Completely understandable. Friday close for equities was pretty poor with some of the biggest drawdowns we've seen since 2020 when the pandemic originally hit. This is obviously because of that inflationary pressure and interest rates are now climbing at unprecedented rates by the Fed and other monetary or central banks as part of their monetary policy in order to stop the wage inflation spiral from taking hold, which would be a nightmare for the majority of these economies. Now, what this means is obviously investors are de-risking. They are transferring their capital away from risky assets, obviously crypto being a risky asset in general, and parking it up in more stable assets, treasuries, bonds, etc. Now, if we look at the 24-hour period, we can see majority of coins again are bleeding out over 24 hours. Only a couple here within the green zone, Algorand and Axie Infinity being two notable mentions. You've got Curve over on the side there. That being said, I'm still purchasing as much HBAR as I can. My position hasn't changed and it will continue to not change until we see a move towards the upside. One of the key reasons I'm purchasing a lot of HBAR is so that I can buy in early into these projects that are built on top of Hedera. So projects like SaucerSwap, allocation of my HBAR tokens to HSuite, for example. So the other day I went ahead and picked up an additional 2,000 HBARs worth of HSuite. I've got in excess of 1.5 million HSuite tokens, for example. SaucerSwap as well. You know, my plan will be to pick up some additional SaucerSwap tokens once they go live. We've got the Tangent and HEDERASTARTER IDOs launching soon as well. That's a couple more tokens you guys can pick up in the ecosystem. Now, that being said, there is a chance that not all of those projects will do very well. Hence, obviously, it is a risky play and you need to make sure you're doing your own research. However, it only takes one of those projects to have greater potential than HBAR, and then your effective opportunity cost of doing that is outweighed and you will benefit from that. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know which of these projects is going to do well. For me, the horse to bet on in this race effectively is kind of SaucerSwap from the utility that they are currently bringing to the market. However, as well, from another perspective, HEDERASTARTER looks like a fantastic opportunity from a launchpad perspective with its incubation and DAO features. So obviously I'm trying to purchase as many of these tokens as I possibly can, and I'm doing videos showing you guys how to do that whenever they do launch. If I do flick over, again, this is like the third time I covered this now. Before I covered the SaucerSwap DEX preview, there's only 1.3 million source tokens left in the FAUCET. It's roughly 3 to 4 days worth of tokens left. Hopefully we'll see a further announcement around when this FAUCET dries up. This is a wallet ID that's well worth keeping an eye on. 0.0731861 is the wallet ID. I'm using 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦. It's probably the best one at the moment for the Hedera ecosystem. Keep an eye on this because, as I mentioned in the past, they are talking about trying to coincide the launch with that FAUCET wallet running dry. Two fantastic tweets here as well from ZIMBALI and 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥. So ZIMBALI saying DEXs are getting closer on Hedera via SaucerSwap Labs. HBAR DeFi infrastructure is growing. USDC by CLXY now is integrated with banks at official. Liquid staking with Stader Hedera, or Stader HBAR, and best-in-class liquidity with Woo Network. So fantastic movement there within the Hedera ecosystem. And obviously I'll be covering this SaucerSwap Labs DEX tutorial in a second to give you guys a sneak peek of what we will be looking at once the platform does go live. That being said as well, fantastic tweet here from HBAR21000, now saying he's holding CLXY tokens or CLXY tokens in my non-custodial hashpack app. get hold of some Solo, Coop, and Pool, which are some other tokens on Hedera. Obviously, CLXY tokens are now available via Bitrue. If you guys want to set up an account on that centralized exchange, you will be able to buy from Bitrue and then send from Bitrue across to your Hedera wallet. I may have a quick look actually into doing that. Depends on how much KYC is required, as I'm already KYC'd up to the max on many different exchanges. Flicking over, let's take a look at this then. This is the meat and bones of this video. SaucerSwap Labs announcement 12 hours ago. UI preview is now online with the DEX tutorial video being released up to their launch over on their YouTube channel that they've got. So some fantastic stuff in here. Let's just quickly walk through this. So the first thing that they show you guys is creating liquidity pools, provision of liquidity to existing pools. And this is obviously being voiced over by Warlock and Key, who does actually have a fantastic voice. Immediately we can see here, very traditional layout. So we can see up in the top left, we've got the several different features of the platform that will be here. So we've got our traditional DEX swap feature we can see up in the top left. We've got the liquidity provision tool or DApp, which we can see on screen now. You've also got your crop circle farm that we can see is the third icon out of the fourth. And then we've also got a portfolio feature, which looks pretty nifty as well. Now on this side here, we can see supply and my pools. We've got token A and token B for the liquidity pool, and then a selection interface effectively for the tokens. So we can see here immediately, as I'm going to click token B, HBAR is supported off the bat. So we can see HBAR here already. We can see Dovu, HBAR Source, NADA, SHBAR as well, Siki tokens, Jam, USDC, and Source. And so these are the tokens that are being supported right off the bat, which is fantastic to see. Now, if we flick across here, we can see them trying to create a liquidity pool for HBAR and Dovu, which is pretty awesome. We can see slippage stuff down here. So he's clicked on settings and you can effectively move the slippage tolerance. So again, it depends on the volume of tokens being traded through these pools. And for example, this is similar for a DEX. You can obviously move the slippage tolerance down to 0.01%. That's something that I quite like to try as you're getting your best value from that transaction. Some other features here as well, enabling our etc. So if we flick through this, we can then see a traditional output here, like most other DEXs, PancakeSwap, for example, if you guys have used that, or Uniswap. We can see there that 1 HBAR equals 6.7 Dovu, so that is our exchange rate. And then the reverse, 1 Dovu equaling that much HBAR. We can see the share of pool and the liquidity pool tokens you'll receive if you press supply on this transaction. So he's going to go ahead and press supply. He's going to say waiting for confirmation to supply liquidity. And bam, there we see it in the Hashpack wallet for the execution of that smart contract. You're going to hit approve. It's going to be done within about 2 seconds flat because of finality on Hedera. And you have effectively submitted liquidity to this pool. He goes ahead and refreshes this. And you can see right at the bottom here that's just been added SSLP token to SaucerSwap liquidity pool token. There's the ID and there's the tokens that he's been given. Now, if you wanted to remove or withdraw liquidity from this pool, you can then see the second tab at the top saying My Pools, and you'd be able to click on Withdraw effectively from that. It's going to then convert those liquidity pool tokens, the 2.55 SSLP, back into your Dovu and HBAR balances that you allocated to that pool. So a fairly simple procedure. Now, we obviously have to remember as well, there are things like impermanent loss if you do things like liquidity pools. I'm sure they're going to be releasing more teaser videos over on their YouTube channel and announcing them via Twitter as well. So make sure you guys are following them on socials. The first thing I must say is that the UI or the user interface experience looks absolutely fantastic. It's kind of got that retro space theme that we all sort of kind of like about SaucerSwap, but it also looks professionally polished at the same time. And clearly, majority of the features are working very well over on the testnet. I'm incredibly excited to wait and see when the launch of this is and any further announcements. Obviously, as soon as this platform goes live, there'll be tons of videos from me showing you guys how to use the DEX feature, the liquidity pool features, and the crop circles, all features on this platform. I'll be showing you guys how to use. I'm incredibly excited, and hopefully you guys are too. Staying on that DEX theme, we've got HEDERASTARTER saying that the audits are complete. So boom, the audits are 100% done, just in time for us to launch this month. We've got a video up on YouTube going through the results, and just let me say, buckle up. It's a banger of a video, 10 out of 10 Hedera memes. So HEDERASTARTER have been audited and they've clearly passed, which is fantastic. So there's no back end or back doors into their platform. That being said, they've also gone ahead and announced or released their announcement date. announced their release date, which is in 12 days. So May the 7th. May the 19th is when this will be going live. So the IDO, the initial sort of token sale that you can participate in, will be on the HEDERASTARTER.fi website, 19th of May, less than 12 days away, which is fantastic. I will be reaching back out to those guys to see if we can potentially do a live stream in and around that 19th of May mark, which will be fantastic for us as a community. Flicking over as well, just wanted to cover this use case called ZIMBALI. So it's on a mission to drive financial inclusion globally, which is brilliant. Of course, being a use case, this is built on top of Hedera, and it's a big one as well. Financial equity and inclusion is all possible with central bank digital currencies. So this is effectively a digital token infrastructure that enables central banks to mint, manage, and distribute their CBDC, digital version of their fiat currency, to banks, financial institutions, and the public. CBDC is fully interoperable with the existing fiat financial system. Obviously, you've got businesses, people, and financial institutions. 1.7 billion unbanked globally. The world's central banks have realized they need a modern and inclusive financial infrastructure so that everyone can access financial services. The solution being central bank digital currencies. And of course, this being all built on top of Hedera. You see here quite an interesting user interface here. Just Pay Me, the ultimate CBDC digital wallet app. Send money, save, earn, lend, borrow, and exchange, all with the Pay Me app. CBDC pilot service as well. They've launched the ZIMBALI CBDC dashboard, you can see here, which looks pretty funky as well. And then obviously some more information at the bottom here. Just thought is another cool use case in the CBDC environment, juxtaposed obviously or similar to MTech, but this one is obviously called ZIMBALI. Rounding off this video as well and staying on the Hedera theme, Tangent has also just secured its first security audit, commissioned a third-party auditing company to attack our systems and report their findings. The simulated adversaries could not gain meaningful access or cause harm to Tangent systems. So that's tangent.bar. Their audit report clearly looks very good, and I'm sure they'll be gearing up for their launch soon off the back of HEDERASTARTER's launch. So like I said, May was the month, and it's all beginning to happen around the middle of May. Hopefully you guys have stuck with me on that, and you're now starting to understand what I was banging on about in those videos previously. It's all starting to unravel, and once the first one launches, it's going to be a massive domino effect for the growth of Hedera and its ecosystem. The DeFi value is going to continue increasing. Stader did a massive stake in the ground for everyone realistically with them launching that platform using the grant from the HBAR Foundation. They really sort of kickstarted and drove that adoption, and now these DEXs will take it to level 2 effectively on the network, which is brilliant to see. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed. We're nearly at 2,000 subscribers, just surpassed 700 followers over on Twitter as well. I post lots of cool stuff over on my Twitter account, so make sure you guys are following that. That being said, tons of stuff coming next week and the week after, so make sure you stick around. Drop a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you've got something to say, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.